Untangle 14. 1. 1 works flawlessly. Solid performance from the quad-core Celeron, the RAM and SSD. In the Barbone version they say you should know how to install, but don't make any mention of which set of screws to remove to best access the board. Even under load the aluminum heatsink keeps this unit cool. There's 12 screws in total, so it isn't a big ordeal if you want to upgrade. Has 2 HDMI, which is annoying, need a $10 adapter to VGA, would have liked to see one VGA instead. I wish there was a rack mount version of this. These things make great little Sense Firewall boxes. You just download the operating system from www.sense.com, install and you're good to go with a very configurable firewall. Just be sure to change the boot option to UEFI, as the OS has a glitch that cost me more than an hour to research out and fix. Out of the box, it is set to legacy. I wanted a replacement for my existing consumer router which was running DDWRT. The FW4B provides hardware allowing the option to use several open-source firewall solutions. For the firewall, I installed pfSense without issues and found it much simpler to configure than DDWRT, especially with interfaces, VLANs and firewall rules. So far, the only hardware issue is the unit runs warmer than expected, but the larger cooling fin design built into the case helps. I will update these comments if any new hardware issues arise. September 13, 2019, 1-year update. I'm pleased to report that not one issue has occurred within the last year. The unit's case temperature, measured at the cooling fins using a Fluke temperature probe, is 43 degrees Celsius, 110 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm pretty disappointed. I upgraded to this device because my old pfSense box did not have ICE-NI CPUs. Come to find out, the CPU in this Protectli device isn't strong enough to push more than 100/100ths through a VPN. I tested dozens of settings with my VPN provider and we were never able to get more than 100/100ths. These are the same speeds I got through a 5-year-older Jetway with no ICE-NI. Easy to install and operate with Sense Community Edition. Just downloaded an image file and I was up and running. Sense comes with a version of FreeBSD as an operating system, as this system is bare bones. You need to understand what you are doing. That being said, I was up and running in less than an hour with really packet moving. This replaced my problematic Netgate 3100, also with Sense. The Celeron, 8 gigs of RAM and 120 gigs of space makes it a really fast mover for streaming. I use for 2 separate networks in my house and that was a breeze to set up. There is room for one more completely segmented network. I use IPv6 routing and it works like a champ. Highly recommended for a bare-bones system for Sense for walling. This thing is built like a tank. This is my first dip into running pfSense, and the question I could not seem to get a straight answer to is how much throughput is any particular hardware packet good for? This particular box will easily run a full gig as a straight firewall with 4 gigs of RAM. If you turn on Suricata for IBS/IPS, the CPU is your bottleneck, and this box will run somewhere between 300 to 500 megabits per second depending on your traffic mix. If you really need a full gig, I would suggest finding a box with a CPU that has a benchmark score 2 to 3 times higher than the Celeron J3160. Click the link under this video for more details, reviews and current pricing.